Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Chess Hangouts. So as you all know, we have the World Chess Championship happening right now. We have Magnus Carlsen, the defending World Chess Championship, against the contender Ian Nepomniachtchi, which I think is the right pronunciation. I'm not sure, although I am hearing it's called Ian Nepomniachtchi as well. So let me know in the comments if I got it wrong. So anyways, 4 games have been done. All 4 games have been draws as well, which just goes to show you how prepared both these players have been. Actually, in one of the games, as per the Stockfish analysis, it turned out to be that Carlsen was around 99.7% accurate, while Ian Nepomniachtchi was around 99.6% accurate, which just goes to show you how intensely prepared both these players have been for the World Chess Championship. This game that I'm bringing you here is one of the latest games that Ian Nepomniachtchi played against Magnus Carlsen, and so this was in 2017, where Ian Nepomniachtchi managed to beat Carlsen. And if you look at the head-to-head record as well, Ian is actually leading 4-1 in the classical chess variations. I mean, obviously, when it comes to blitz and rapid games, Carlsen would always be in the upper hand because it's just much superior when it comes to blitz and rapid. But still, in the classical games, Ian is leading 4-1. So this is one of the latest matches, which was played in 2017, where Ian played black and Carlsen played white. So anyways, let's get to the game. So we have Carlsen playing knight f3, going with a ready opening. Then we have c5, c3. It's called the Sicilian invitation. It's kind of a weird approach to the opening, but then that's how Carlsen usually plays his openings. So then we have d5, we have d4, we have c into d4, c into d4, knight c6, knight c3, and as you can see, we have actually gone into a Slav defense variation. So now we have black playing knight f6, we have bishop f4, which is a good square for the bishop. We have knight h5 by Nepo. So over here, Carlsen just took his bishop back to d2, and Nepo just played knight f6. So now we have white playing e3. So Carlsen's like, okay, fine, I'll keep my bishop at d2 and instead I'll just play e3. And we have Nepo playing e6. So as you can see, although black, it seems to be that black has wasted a move by playing knight h5 first and then going back to f6. But still, overall, it doesn't affect the position because you can see it's a very symmetrical position on the board. Bishop d3, just advancing the bishop to a good square. Then we have bishop d6 as well, and we have e4. This is a typical Carlsen move where he does not wait for things to open up, and wherever possible he will definitely push and try to break the center. So e4 is a pretty strong move, and we have d to e4 and knight into e4, and we have bishop e7. Now over here Carlsen castles, we have Nepo castling as well, and then we have queen c2, which is a good square for the queen, and we have h6. So over here Ian is just being safe because you can see that bishop and the queen are looking at this square, and we could have the knight coming over to g5 as well. So in any case, black has to play either g6 or h6. Now playing g6 wouldn't be ideal because then we're ultimately just giving a important square, which is bishop h6, and that wouldn't look good for black. So h6 makes sense in this position. Then we have rook a d1, we have bishop d7 because black has to develop the bishop. Another option would have been to play b6 and then black's bishop developing at b7 because this is a very strong diagonal. But Ian doesn't want to waste time, he just wants to develop his pieces. So we have a3. Now a3 is a pretty strong move because there are threats of knight b4 coming over. Just to prevent that, Carlsen has played a3. Then we have rook c8. Obviously there's an open file, which makes sense, and the white queen seems to be in a bit of a small danger. So we have Carlsen playing knight c3. Now another option would have been queen b1 as well, but knight c3 also seems to work. And we have a6, and we have queen c1. Now queen c1 is a very subtle but strong move. Now white has options of doing this heroic bishop sacrifice and maybe bringing the knight over to g5 afterwards. There are a lot of options and variations for white, and it looks pretty good. So we have rook e8, and we have rook fe1, and we have bishop f8. Now over here the idea of rook e1 is becoming clear because obviously Ian sees this potential bishop sacrifice, and he feels to be safe it would be better if his bishop is there at f8, so that this is not possible at all, and black's defense looks pretty strong. Now we have bishop f4, which is a pretty good square, and we have b5, a pretty strong move. Now over here we have queen d2, and we have b4. b4 is a very strong move. So we have a into b4, we have knight into b4, and instead of Carlsen moving the white bishop to another board, Carlsen plays knight e5. So he doesn't care if this white bishop gets exchanged with the knight, because anyways this knight is pretty strong as well. So all in all, it would seem sensible to exchange with the knight. And now his knight is in a very good central square as well. So we have knight into d3, we have queen into d3, and we have a5. And now we have queen f3. Now overall white is looking pretty good, and queen is in a very good square as well, and he has control of the entire third rank as well, and he can always come attack the king at any point. And now we have bishop b4, and over here Carlsen plays rook e3. Now rook e3 is a strong move as well, I'm not denying that, because white has plans of attacking the black's king side. But over here Carlsen did miss a pretty strong move that he could have played. So if you want, you can pause the video and try to figure out the move. So the move over here is bishop into h6. Now he could have actually played the bishop into h6 sacrifice over here, and it actually works, because after bishop into c3, we have b into c3, we have g into h6, queen g3 check. King has to move to f8. Now if the king moves to h7 or h8, then we have this knight into f7 as well. Now if king f8 happens, then we have rook d3, and this is not looking good for black at all. I mean, there are multiple threats coming up. Once this rook comes over to f6 or g3, the queen can come over to h4, and it looks pretty bad for black, and there are a lot of threats as well. So this is one option Carlsen could have actually gone for, but instead he plays rook e3, which is also fine. So we have bishop into c3, and we have b into c3. Now these two pawns are looking pretty good, and we have a passed pawn as well for Carlsen. Now we have bishop a4 attacking the rook, and Carlsen plays rook a1. Now another move that could have been better would have been playing rook c1 instead, because now black always has the option of bringing his bishop back to c2 and then coming over to g6 or h7, just to keep the black's king side safe, and which is exactly what Ian did. Now comes over to bishop c2. So now we have h3, and it brings the bishop over to f5. Now Carlsen doesn't wait any longer, g4, which is a good move, and we have bishop h7, and Carlsen could have actually gone ahead with this move, and he could have played bishop h7. So over here Carlsen plays c4. c4 is also pretty good, but he could have continued the momentum, and he could have played g5 instead. g5 would have been really strong, because after h into g5, bishop into g5, and after bishop f5, for instance, we have queen g3, and it's looking really good for white, because there are a lot of variations. So probably we'll have knight h5, then we'll have queen h4, then f6, queen into h5. I mean, there are a lot of variations that can happen, and it wouldn't look good for black at all. So instead Carlsen plays c4, and we have knight d7. So over here Carlsen played knight c6. Now a really strong move over here that Carlsen could have played again was c5. because after knight into e5, we have bishop into e5, and if in case of f6, then we have bishop d6. This is looking very, very good for white. But this bishop is too strong at the moment. There's no way black can actually get near these pawns as well. So this would have been very ideal, but Carlsen had other plans in mind, and he played knight c6 instead. Now over here, Ian played queen f6, and this is one move that Carlsen actually missed. Now instead of queen f6, had Ian played queen d6, this would have been a straight win for white, because then we have the killer move d5, and it looks really good for white. But instead he played the right move, which is queen f6, and Carlsen at this point, he just took the pawn, and we have knight e6. And over here, Carlsen played a big blunder that was very unlike him as well. He played c5. Now what could black play for c5? You can pause the video, but it's a very simple move as well. The move over here is rook into c5. Is that a sacrifice? It's not a sacrifice, because after pawn captures, now we have queen into a1 check. So now black just got an extra pawn as well. So after king h2, we have black taking the pawn. Now over here again, white is pawn down, but still white could have managed by just playing c into b6, and after queen into b6, although white pawn down, this is still a drawish position, especially if the rooks and queens get exchanged, because as you can see, these are opposite colored bishops, and what the rules of chess is that if you get to an endgame where there are opposite colored bishops, that game is for sure going to be a draw. So this is something that Carlsen could have done just for damage limitation, but Carlsen got a little too greedy at this point, and he played queen c6. So now he's thinking, he's attacking the knight and he's attacking the rook as well, so he'll get to keep this pawn as well. So that is what he was thinking. But over here, there's a very subtle defense for black, which would kill the game for white. So you can pause the video and try to figure the very subtle move that would actually solve all of black's problems. So the move over here is queen a4. It's so simple. Queen is defending the rook, and if queen does capture this knight, then we have the queen capturing f4 with a check as well, which doesn't look good for white at all. So now white is forced to capture, and after knight into a4, we have c6, and we have knight b6, we have c7, we have f6, we have rook b3, and knight c8. And now clearly black, with the full piece up, is looking very comfortable, and with due time this pawn can never get promoted as well because of this knight over here. And it is at this point that Carlsen resigned the match. So as you can see that Ian played a very solid game as well, but you could see that Carlsen actually did miss a lot of moves, and he did make blunders as well. So this was the latest game that Ian Nepomniachtchi managed to beat Carlsen. But this was in 2017. I mean, things have changed, and especially for this World Championship, it's pretty clear that both these players have come well prepared, and there's so much at stake as well. So I definitely don't see Carlsen making a lot of blunders as well, especially for this World Championship. So anyways, let me know in the comments who you guys are supporting for this World Championship. All the games have been draws as well, but at some point one of them is going to crack under pressure. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to cover any more of Carlsen's or Ian's games, or any openings as well. I'll be happy to help. Please do like and subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you.